I wish that there was more acceptance from one of the other. I wish they would make a divide. One of the very interesting things about our program, and the reason why we get a lot of people auditioning, is that we don't make that divide. Students come here and we say, well, why did you pick NYU? And they'll say, well, I don't know whether I want to do music theater or classical voice. And our response as a program is, well, why don't you, you're 18, why don't you give it time? Why don't you let your voice come into its own and tell you maybe where we should be going? So why don't you at this point say, I think I want to do music theater. Fine, we'll put you in the musical theater program, but you can take any of the classical voice classes. You will study with a teacher who is classically trained. So you're going to get that ability to sing some classical music, and you can experiment with it and then make a decision. Why should someone who is 18 know exactly what they want? Why shouldn't they be given the freedom to experiment so that they can choose for themselves? And I think that's one of the things that sets our program apart from a lot of others. One thing that I can differentiate with classical singing toward opera and musical theater is that musical theater is a younger art form. People will graduate here with 4 years of college and should be able to get into a show, a regional theater show, and go right into some of the leading roles. In opera, the voice has to develop further. It's not until you're in your mid-20s, early 20s maybe, that you're ready to take on the demands of most operatic roles. And that's to say roles of Mozart and Handel. Most people don't come into the repertoire of Verdi until later, or Wagner until even later. There are always exceptions to that, but pretty much you have to be patient and be diligent in perfecting your craft through that very important time till you get to the point where you can sing some of that repertoire. A lot of singers meet their demise by singing repertoire that's too big and too heavy for them before they're ready, and that's unfortunate.